Welcome everyone to episode 10 of The Buzz with Mama T here at Untouchable Productions, Little Bobby's studio in Natchitoches, Minnesota. It also is in the same building as Little Bobby's Bar and Grill. Today, our first guest is Matthew. Oh my gosh, this kid. You're muted though. Oh, there we go. How are you doing today, kiddo?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I haven't seen you in forever.
I know it's been a minute.
Where are you at?
Well, I'm currently in Chicago right now, just on a little getaway vacation for a couple of days.
So I didn't catch you in the middle of a tour or anything.
No, you didn't.
Speaking of which, who have you been touring with lately?
Well, I've been touring with Bernard Allison, and that's really it, really. But it's been quite a bit of touring. So
what are you playing for him?
I'm playing drums for him and doing some studio work as well, just a little bit, playing guitar and yeah.
So you get to be on some of his albums then, huh?
I hope so. None are in the works right now, but I'm knocking on wood.
So where have you toured with him?
Man, we've been to 13 different countries with this band. We've been since I've been in the band. We've been to Mexico, Canada, France, Belgium, Switzerland, Norway, Sweden. We're about to be going to Finland. We're about to be going to Italy, Germany. Oh gosh, what am I missing? Denmark, Czech Republic, Austria, and the list goes on and on. We've been just about all over Europe, but yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thank you.
I'm just so happy for you. I'm just like, the first time I met you was 3 years ago, and you were just like doing open jam over at Levski's.
Yeah. At that time too, I was just kind of doing kind of hired gun gigs and just playing with whoever, trying to make some money. And
how many instruments do you play, sir?
I like to say I play 5. I play drums, I play bass. Excuse me. I play guitar. I play a little bit of keys, and I sing.
Yep, I consider that an instrument.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I can do. I can tinkle the ivories a little bit, but that I can't even remember how to read music. How did you get into music?
Oh, see, that's a tough one because I've really just been doing it my whole life. But I like to think my mom turned my ears on pretty early, like really early. And I remember, like, the earliest memories I have is us listening to music in the car, just whatever. And she would rewind the song and be like, "Hey, did you hear the bass and what the bass just did, or the guitar?" Yeah, I just remember her turning my ears on like that very early. And I just remember having a knack for making sounds with my hands. Yeah, but I really didn't start playing drum kit until I was like first grade, like 6 or 7 years old. But up until that point, I'd been putting Tupperwares and pots and pans together, and making all kinds of sounds.
So you were just a prodigy,
I suppose, yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, I'll tell you if you tell me. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Yeah, I knew I knew you turned 21, like, or were about to turn 21 when I met you, because I was like, man, these kids in this bar. I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah.
I think my daughter was actually there that time too. It's actually her 20th birthday today.
Oh, okay.
So if she's watching, happy birthday, Margaret.
Happy birthday.
So what did your mom do that she had such an ear for music?
Well, I think she was just I think she's always just had a thing for it too. I think it also comes from my culture too. My family's from Kenya, and we in our family we just love to dance to music and listen to music. Like it's very much a part of our every day to day. But my aunts like to tell me she was always kind of the drummer of the family. Just always kind of making grooves with her hands. Um, but she never got an opportunity to play an instrument. So I don't think that was really developed. But she tells me all the time, she's like, if I could play an instrument, I'd probably be a bass player or a drummer. And I believe her because she's got the ears for it.
So how did you get involved with Bernard?
Well, I graduated. I graduated about 5 years ago from high school. I went to Wayzata, and right out of high school, I just decided to um, take a gap year and just kind of do the music thing. And so I started going to the jams. I started going to Shaw's, and that's where I went. That's where I met Alan and George and Wayne McFarlane, and those were the first cats that really started getting me my first gigs. And then from there, my from there my tree just kind of grew as far as people I knew and work. So I stayed pretty consistent with it through COVID and started developing a name amongst the musicians in town. And so anyways, about 2 years ago, Bernard needed a drummer. He had just let his previous drummer go, and so they were on the lookout. And so George Moyer, as you know, threw my name in the hat and was like, "Hey, I know this kid, and he seems to be the one that can hold down this gig, right?" So Bernard called me about it. Just had a brief talk on the phone and just kind of explained the gig, and went over to his house and listened to some of the tunes and just got to know him a little bit. Had a little hangout, and he gave me a handful of dates, and he's like, "If you can make this first one and execute, then you got the gig." So that first gig was actually, I think it was like May 10th or 11th, 2022, in Chesapeake Bay. It was a beautiful, big festival, and I was super nervous, but we went and did it, and I got the job. So
I'm glad you did. Oh my gosh, because you really are phenomenal. Like every time I've seen you play, I mean, you've even been here. You went with Bobby somewhere too. You guys came up here, didn't you? Have like a gig in like Grand Forks
oh, that sounds about right.
or Thief River?
I was definitely there at the bar and grill for sure. I remember that gig was really fun, and I'm trying to remember who was on bass that time.
Wasn't it George?
No, you know what? I think it
Maybe
was
it was
Tony.
Kate. Oh, Tony, yeah.
Tony.
Yep. That's who you rode up here with. Yep.
Yeah, Tony Serini. That's my brother, and that was a fun time.
Yeah. You told me that your brother was coming with you, and when he stepped out of the car, I was like, "Oh, you mean your brother?"
Yeah, right. Right. My Italian brother.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
what is the most fun about traveling and touring overseas?
I think first of all, it's just being able to see all the places, and not only that, just to be able to play music there. Before I joined this band, I had never left the country, so all of those countries that I named off, I've been to in the last 2 years. So that's been a crazy experience for me, and also getting to see like a different kind of demographic of people, just seeing how people do things differently elsewhere,
Mm-hmm.
That's really exciting for me.
All the different cultures and
Yeah, and the languages too. I'm a sucker for language. I love language, and there's a handful of languages that I've tried to study, and I don't know. That's been fun for me too, just to kind of exercise that a little bit.
well, your brain, it's still you're still young, it's still developing. You can still absorb all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I tried to do something like that now, I'd be like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I can barely learn how to talk on a camera. So, who your mom was your biggest supporter,
Yes.
and so you where did you grow up? You grew up in the cities, right?
Yeah, I grew up mostly in the cities. I moved around quite a bit as a kid. I was born in Ames, Iowa, and ended up in St. Cloud somehow. Or that's where my grandma lives. Um, but I ended up there for a little bit. Ended up in Alexandria, if you can believe that, for a little bit. Um, and then I was in Brooklyn Center, and then eventually I ended up in Wayzata, and that's where I spent most of my childhood.
Your
So
brothers, sisters.
yeah, I got two younger sisters, who are my half sisters, but they've spent their entire lives with me, so they're my sisters. And one of them is 14. Her name is Vanessa, and the other one is 6, and her name is Victoria.
Are they into music too, or do they just love watching their brother?
They just love watching their brother. Vanessa wants to be a track star. She's into track. She wants to do sports, and she's tall. I'm 6'1", and she's like gotta be, I don't know, 5'10", something crazy. You guys are almost the same height. Like she's crazy tall.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's definitely gonna be a runner or something. Tennis. Yeah. So yeah.
So
And we'll see about the other one. She's still kind of young yet, but she's got a lively personality, so she could be a wild card. Yeah.
So, can you think of which overseas gig might have been your favorite? You got any good? I mean, you're touring with Bernard Allison. You've got to have some good stories, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Story.
Oh she said, "Tell me a story." Well, shoot. Oh man. Well, let me tell you about this last tour we just did like a week ago. This is probably the craziest story I have so far. First of all, probably the craziest venue I played was in Canada, and it was this big amphitheater. Uh, Man, it was Trois-Rivières, Canada. I think that's. But man, it was a huge venue, super cool, and probably the biggest place I've ever played. But to tell you this crazy story, I was in Poland about a week ago, and we played this festival down there. I think we played it like maybe 7 or 8. Played about an hour show. So we got back to our hotel about 10:30. So which is pretty early for us. So I was kind of bored and I was a little hungry and I was like, I kind of want to go into town and see if I can find something to eat, something to do. So I ordered a taxi. I took it down to like the town square, kind of town center, and I found a kebab shop and got myself a kebab. And so I was like, I want to go find something to drink. So I found a pub close by and I took a walk down there. And this is a cool spot, really chill. It's kind of where the young kids were hanging out. And at this point, it's maybe like 11, close to midnight now. And just kind of minding my own business, keeping to myself, having a couple drinks and just kind of observing people, because nobody speaks English. I can't really conversate with anybody. So just observing. And so eventually I make it outside. We got like canopies and tables and that kind of thing. And there's a table next to me and there's like 2 kind of big dudes and sitting with a lady and another kid that's about my age. And I can tell they're kind of looking at me and talking about me. And so eventually the lady comes up and she's like, "So what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm here for a blues festival. I'm playing music. I'm a drummer, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Okay." And that was about it. And she sat back down and she like translated to everybody else and just kind of looking at me. So eventually I went back in the bar and I'm about to order another drink. And this kid that was at the table, looked about my age, he was like, well, he came up to me and he spoke great English. He's like, "Hey man, I just wanted to tell you." I was like, out of nowhere, right? Just wanted to tell you, like, these people I was sitting with, I thought they were kind of chill to begin with, but I'm kind of getting a little vibed out by them. Some of the things they're saying, and they're kind of making like racist comments about you. And I just want to let you know, just because I want you to be safe, and I think it'd be best if you went to another bar and had a drink there. I was like, "Well, I appreciate that, but I'm gonna finish my drink here, and I'm chill here. I appreciate it." Well, we got to talking a little bit, and it turns out he's a metal musician. He makes music and that kind of thing, and he's always been into learning the English language, and so that's why he speaks it so well. Okay, so he kind of became my buddy for the night, and my translator and kind of my bodyguard.
Didn't know you were going to need one of those, did you?
No, I didn't. Not at all. So eventually we make it back outside, and there's another group of kids that's showing up, and one of them has got like box braids. This is Poland. He's got box braids and a Cuban link chain, and he's all dressed down, skinny jeans, sneakers, very American, right? And he comes up to me, and he goes, "Hey, what's up, gang?" I'm looking at him funny. I'm like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" And he's speaks kind of good English. I can understand him, but he's so come to find out he's like a hip hop producer / rapper, and he's showing me some of his stuff, and his music videos look great. And he's like, "Yeah, I made this music video at this venue over here, and I got a studio, blah blah blah." So of course I'm losing my mind. I'm meeting all these cool young kids, and we get to exchanging stuff we worked on and that kind of thing. So before I know it, it's like 3 a.m, and it's probably not as bright as this right here, but it's starting to get light out. And he's like, "I want to go back to my studio. Let's go to the studio." And I was like, "Yeah, I got nothing to do tomorrow. I'm done working, so let's go." And he's like, "But first, I need to go get alcohol first, and then we'll go to the studio." So him and his buddies go get some alcohol, and he gives this me and this other kid that I met the address, and we go over to the studio, and it's kind of in this residential area, and it's gated, and it's like a gravel pathway back to this warehouse where he lives, and it was weird, but I'm like, whatever, I'm chill with this guy, he's got my back, bodyguard, right? So eventually he pulls up, rapper dude, and we go all the way to his studio, and it's nice. It's a nice little space, well put together. You get TV and a PlayStation, and a whole desk set up with lights and a vocal booth and a bathroom. I mean, it's set up really nice. It's like, okay, it's cool. And at this point, it's probably like 4 a.m. now. So we got to making music, and we made music all day from 4 a.m. until like 6:30 that evening.
Wow.
Yeah. And I met a whole bunch of Polish people, and it was just the vibe. I mean, and they were, as I was making this beat, right, and they're like freestyling in Polish, and I have no idea what they're saying, but they're just going back and forth and trading verses, and it's just the craziest thing ever. Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy. It was really cool.
That's awesome. It just like all the people you end up meeting, and so we've got a viewer that was a little confused. He's wondering how this show ties into Little Bobby music.
Uh-huh.
Well, Untouchable Productions is Little Bobby's studio, and so when we put the podcast out that's produced by Little Bobby's studio, it goes on his YouTube channel.
Okay.
But on that new YouTube channel, you can see 2 different listings. One listing is of the podcast, and one is of Little Bobby music videos.
Okay.
I hope that clears up. Yes, I'm his girlfriend, so yeah, he lets me on his channel. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
just letting this gentleman know, because he looked a little worried. The producer did get on there and clear it up, but I would have to join YouTube to answer that myself, or I could just do it on the air. So
that's cool. You got a live chat here. That's nice.
Yeah. Oh, you see that?
Yeah, I can see
that. He looks a little worried, doesn't he? It's okay.
Yeah, with all the question marks.
Yeah, and then this is actually I was with Little Bobby when I met you. I was trying to think of which time that was, but George Moyer. So people don't know what George Moyer's kids do either. So those are my fun stories to tell. But
yeah,
just all the different people you meet traveling, and you get that vibe. That's the thing with musicians. You get that vibe. And I've seen people walk in the bar and Bobby's like, "You want to hear a song?" So he just picks up the guitar. Other people wander in with instruments, and we just sit and drink and play music all night. It's just once you feel that, it's just an amazing bond that you get with people. So tell me more about Bernard's band and what you do with him.
Well, man, we've been on, I don't know how many tours now. I've been on maybe 10 tours with Bernard overseas. Maybe 6 of them being like month-long tours. But I don't know, we've really gelled and really become a tight unit, you know, as a band, is spending so much time together on the road and playing together. And of course, I guess, like, I don't know, with Bernard's band, there's parts you're given, and so like we're always trying to like just find that extra bit of tightness in the band and locking those parts in, and it's really come a long way, so that's cool. And yeah, I just
What's he like?
it's been a fun time.
People don't. There might be a lot of people out there that don't know who Bernard Allison is, or what kind of music he plays, or the name of his band.
Yeah, Bernard Allison comes from a legacy. His father was a bluesman in Chicago back in the day, and was very successful here and as well as Paris and other places in Europe. And Bernard grew up on the road with his dad, even being a band leader in his dad's band.
Wow.
So yeah, Bernard got a lot of experience early on the road, not only being on the road, but being on the road overseas. So he's had a lot of time to build those connections and that kind of thing. So when his dad passed, he decided to take on the name and keep going with the music. And so he's kind of developed his own brand and his own style and gone his own way from there, while still honoring his father and his legacy and that kind of thing. So yeah, so I'm just a little piece of that legacy.
I was just gonna say, that must make you just feel like, I can't imagine how that feels to be part of a legacy like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy feeling.
When you were playing on the Tupperware, did you ever think you were going to grow up and?
You know, I always had the dream, for sure, and I always knew I wanted to do music and be in a band and do big things with it, you know. But I definitely thought the things I'm experiencing now came later on in life. So I'm very blessed and very fortunate to be living my dream, you know.
What is your inspiration? What keeps you going?
The music. The music is life for me. The music is what I live and what I breathe all the time. And music, I feel, is the best way I can express myself. You know, most people take pictures or write stories or whatever it is people do, you know. But music is what I do, and that's the best way I can express myself. And if I've never met you and you come see me play, like, me playing is telling me everything you need to know about who I am as a person. You know what I mean? So, like,
yes, I know exactly what you mean. You're very expressive. You've got your whole heart and soul into everything you do when you're on that stage. I love it. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
You're just one of the most phenomenal kids I've ever met. Like, for your age and doing what you're doing and traveling with who you're traveling with, I mean, man, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Like, wow.
Yeah. I'm very blessed.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? You still going to be doing this?
Oh, absolutely.
Settle down and have a family?
Absolutely. Well, you know, I've set a goal for my 20s. I definitely want to own a house by the time I'm 30. Oh, I want to be fronting my own band, if not a couple, and just kind of start getting my stake in the ground and building my my little fortress. Um, but yeah, family, house, success, and just want to be I just want to be happy and content and chill and you know um, but I definitely see myself outside of Minnesota and even outside of the United States in 10 years. I want to expand it and take it as far as I can. And yeah, and some of that is already in in the works. So
Really? So
yeah,
you do any of your own? Do you write any music or compose
oh
any?
yeah, oh
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you got
all
a
the
bunch
time.
out there or what?
Not quite yet. I actually um, it, it's funny because this past couple of years have just been a lot of me like um, kind of finding myself. Um, Not only finding myself here, but like in my music as well, and trying to take all my inspirations and trying to uh, melt that down to me. Um, so I haven't put anything out yet, but well, actually, I actually just produced a CD for Craig Clark, and which I'm part of the Craig Clark band, and so I produced that CD and engineered and mixed that, and even had some songwriting credits in there as well. Um, um, so that's like my first physical something that you could hold. But I
That's
have a
not
couple more projects in the works right now that I'm that are that I'm really really super proud of and that are of my own creation and that I'm doing with really close friends. Including Tony and Jack Peterson. I got a group called the Ski Club.
okay.
Um, and that band kind of formed from the Walewski's Blue Saloon Jam, right? So we're the ski club. So that's kind of been that's been something I've been really excited about, and it's been slowly coming out of the soil and been blossoming really well so far. So I'm excited for that.
I've got one of these faithful viewers. You might know his name. Yeah, we call him Sweet Polly T. Paul
Uh,
tested. Yeah,
yeah. Okay. Hold on.
yeah. He's a big fan of the show. He watches every week. Thank you.
Right on. Right
Thanks,
on.
Polly.
Hey,
He's
Polly.
his comment is Bernard has had fantastic musicians. He
Mm,
allowed me to record his song "Bad Love."
mm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Is that
Polly's been everywhere, man.
wow? Bad Love, and that was on oh gosh, that's that record from '98. What's that song? Man, hold on, I gotta find it now here. But yeah, that's a great record there, and wow,
Uh-oh,
shout
lost
out to
video.
Paulie. Can you see me?
No, I lost video. But oh, there you are.
No.
I was gonna say we're about done with our segment. What do you want people to know about you?
I want people to know that I'm a young man with a lot of gift to share, and I'm gaining a lot of momentum here, and I'm coming for everybody. So get ready
All
for
right.
me, because I'm ready to come out guns blazing here. So
And how do people find you if they want
you can find me. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. Uh, you can catch me with Dylan Sulphur and the Dylan Sulphur Band on Wednesdays at Bunkers, 9:30 to 1. You can catch me with the Craig Clark Band. You can look them up on craigclarkband.com or the Facebook. Um, yeah, and yeah, I'm just all over the place. So come to the jam too. Walewski's the Blue Saloon on Larpenteur and Rice. Come check that jam out because that's a fun time too. You can catch me there. So
That's always a good time. Thanks
yeah,
for being my guest, Matthew. I just really happy you were here tonight. This was fun. I can't wait to see you again.
I can't wait to see you. Thanks for having me so much, and I appreciate you letting me come on your platform.
Oh yeah, I told you if you told me, I'd tell you. It was my 50th birthday on Wednesday.
Okay. Right on. Well, happy 50th, and I hope you have a great one.
Oh yeah, it's been a heck of a week.
Uh-huh.
Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, thank you. We'll see you later.
All right. All right. Well, that was fun. That kid, he really is amazing. Like, you got to watch this kid. You got to go see him. We do have another guest here pretty soon. We can pop up maybe the Elvis stuff though for here at the bar. The next, so don't let anybody tell you that Elvis is dead, because he's alive and well, and he plays here at Little Bobby's in McIntosh, Minnesota, every month for the rest of the year. This month he will be here on the 26th at 7 p.m. He will also be here next month, August 31st at 5 p.m., September 28th, 8 p.m., October 19th at 5 p.m. And this guy, I mean, Sean Wallen does this tribute show, and you can actually, if you want to scroll back in your feed here on YouTube or wherever, we actually did an interview with him, episode 5 on June 16th. If you want to get to know him a little bit, then come on out here and watch him play, because you're going to have a good time, guaranteed. So our next guest, oh my gosh, you guys, this guy is a world-renowned sax player. Baron, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying the nice weather out here in New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey right now. Yes.
Oh, so why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself? Because there's no way I can cover everything.
Oh, God. Presently, I'm a saxophonist. I also teach. I play with a lot of different people. I'm playing with Jeff Pitchell from the blues scene. My parents were musicians, classical. Saxophone really wasn't their thing, so they were like, "What is this instrument? Saxophone? That's not in the orchestra." So I was kind of rebellious that way, but I did go to music school down in Texas, University of North Texas, and ended up on the road right after I was in music school, and then eventually ended up just in the New York area. I lived in New York. I'm from New York originally, and played just with a lot of different people and whoever I can. And I guess that says something about me. Yeah.
Let's maybe start with the Blues Brothers story. You got one of those for me?
Oh, Blues Brothers. Yeah. The Blues Brothers, I was there when they reformed without, because Belushi had died. I was in Italy doing a TV show with Matt Guitar Murphy, one of the Blues Brothers, on RAI TV in Rome. And the producers were like, we have this festival next year. Can you bring some of the other Blues Brothers over? And Matt said, I'll try. And then apparently what happened was that they were like, can you get them all over? The agent, and Matt said, you need to speak to Duck Dunn about that. And apparently after that, they reformed and they had the Blues Brothers band without Belushi. They had Sam Moore and Larry Thurston from St. Louis that used to sing with Matt Murphy. And then my part came in the Blues Brothers is that Lou would call me when he needed a sub for himself, when he was doing James Taylor, or mostly when he was doing James Taylor. He's on the road right now with James Taylor, with Steve Gadd on drums, and so that's how yeah.
So you've written a lot of music for like different popular shows.
Yes, I've written music for oh boy, I have to look at my thing. Uh, yeah, I've written music for a talk show. Do you remember? You know what?
Ricky Lake.
What?
Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake. Yeah, I did that with Chuck Kentis. And he was the one that got me with Rod Stewart to be his sax player. Uh, so Chuck was my connection to Rod Stewart, and Chuck and I used to write. That's actually how I met Chuck. I lived in Nutley, and he lived in Nutley, and he used to ask me to come over, and we were writing for different libraries. And yeah, I'm actually presently working on a record now with some friends from California, with Frank Osgood and Paul Ill. We're calling it Baron von Frankenpaul, and I'm writing a lot. As a matter of fact, I just came from a writing session. So, but that's writing. I've done a lot of arranging. I've played on Food Network shows, the Today Show, but yeah, that's about what I've done with the TV writing. Yeah. So.
And then you were in a movie.
Yes. What was I in? I was in August Rush, just background. Yeah, I was in August Rush. Yeah, the movie about the little prodigy kid. I was in the orchestra playing French horn, which I don't play. But I did it. It was fun, and I still get some royalties from it. Not a great amount, but I still get some money for being in that. Yes.
So how did you get into music? Has it always been in your blood? You said you're
Yeah, my parents were classical musicians, and my father thought Baron was a good show name. It's my given name, and he wanted me to be a classical pianist. So I started. My father had me taking lessons at Carnegie Hall Studios when I was like 6, and the teacher really liked me, and she named her dog after me. And so before that, I went to a music class in New York, and I was actually in the New York Times because it was kind of experimental music. I was like 3, but then I started with classical music, learning Bach and Mozart and Beethoven and Schumann, and that's how I actually started as a pianist. Yes, which I'm glad I did because it's come really in handy for a lot of things, for writing and just whatever. Yeah, a lot for writing and arranging, definitely. So, yeah.
So you've always been into music. What was your first memory of playing in front of someone?
Oh God, well, I used to take piano lessons on 57th Street. Then there was a Hornet Harnets down the street, and they had a piano on the stage, and all the old ladies would be sitting there. My father used to make me get up and play when I was like 7 and 8 years old with the music I was working on in my lessons, which I used to get really nervous, and I'd break out in eczema. I didn't really. I enjoyed it afterwards, but I used to get really frightened. I really. It used to really scare me, but my father's like, "Go up there. You got to go up and play." So,
so he threw you in the water and made you swim.
He threw me in, yeah, made me sink or swim. Yes, yes. So I had to do that at an early age. Yes, yes. So, yes.
So, what was it? Oh, Women of Tin Pan Alley.
Yeah, that was really cool. This lady, Nora Michaels, unfortunately, she passed away. She used to live in New Jersey, and I used to play with her husband, Paul. Paul White. What? I forgot Paul Whistler, and he was like a real Jersey icon blues guy, really good. But they wanted her to do a scene in a cafe in New York of Willow Weep for Me, which was written by a woman, and the whole premise of that show was women that did not get recognition, did not receive royalties, and they had me play on Willow Weep for Me. Unfortunately, it was such a cramped space. They only showed my. I did play a solo on it. I do get credit on the end of the PBS series, but They only showed my hands on the saxophone, so I was a little embarrassed when I told people I was going to be on this, documentary show, and all they showed was my saxophone. They're like, "Well, it sounds good." So I did get credit for it, and I have received royalties from that. But I thought it was really cool to be part of it. Yes, that was in New York that we filmed it. Yes.
I've got
So,
I've got a viewer here who says Blue Marine, cool dude. Pendergrass Keys, Matt, rest in peace.
yes.
Duck Dunn, rest in peace. Oh,
Yes.
Paul Testa. I'm not sure if you know who he is. He's. I'm sure there's a million other things that he's done, but how I know this man is that he plays keyboard he used to play keyboard with Bobby's band.
Okay, cool. Nice. Very nice.
Went to Rawa Blues in Poland, and yeah.
Nice. I have a Polish T-shirt on here from a blues festival I played in Slovakia, Poland, with the Blues Brothers. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I played in Poland with them. Yeah. So, yeah, filling in for Blue Lou. Well, kind of the reason. Yes, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I forgot. So I've got my cheat sheet here because you allowed me to feature you in the Little Bobby Buzz.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yes.
Well, thanks for letting me. Let's see. I forgot what I was going to ask you.
It's okay.
Gloria Gaynor.
Yes, I played with her. I Will Survive. Yes, I played with a short time. Actually, this guy that saw me, his sax teacher in England, I guess, had seen me with Rod Stewart and had the saxophone journal, and I was on the front cover, and he goes, "You should play like Baron." And he had been playing with Gloria, and he couldn't make some gigs in the States. So he said, "Why don't you have Baron play?" I idolize this guy or whatever. So I did. I filled in for him. It was fun. She was very nice. I had a fun time with the band. Very good bands. Yes. So I got to do that with her, which was cool. So, yeah.
It also says, so a lot of this I just pulled off your bio. Like people
Okay.
can, like
Okay.
people can read about this, but man, you got quite the list here. Played on themes for Michael's Place, Quench, and the closing theme for NBC's Today Show. Really?
Yes, I was on that. Yes, I did that. Yes, and I was on. I forgot the name of that. Something America, and I played horns with Mark Pender, trumpet. Him and I, who played on the Conan show for many years, and yeah, he did it with me, and he also played with Springsteen for many years. Yeah, until he couldn't do it because of Conan show. So, yeah. So, and Michael's Place was a Food Network show. I played the theme on that. Quench, I played flute tenor, and I played the theme of that. Yes. So that was pretty cool. Yes, be able to. There was a guy, Peter Mora. I started playing with him again. He was in Florida, and he was writing all that stuff with a company called King Size Music. So I was their guy. So they called me to do whatever, so yeah, it was pretty cool to do all that. Yes. And hear yourself on the TV is kind of fun to hear yourself. Yes.
So you've been doing this your whole life?
My whole life. Yes.
Any time in your life where where you thought, maybe this isn't for me, or times got rough and you're just like, no, I got to pick up a day job, man.
Well, I did, COVID, I taught during COVID. I taught. So that was good. No, I never really felt like I wanted to give up music. I just love it. I mean, I've had to take breaks. So, I'm going away for 8 days in Cape Cod next week. So I do have to take breaks because I am very busy, and, I need to rejuvenate, and come up with some fresh ideas or whatever, but no, I've always wanted to play music. Music's my passion. I love it so much. I have a very full life of it. So yeah, yeah. I think part of it is being around New York, and so many musicians come through and want different players and this and that, and a lot of opportunities just from living in New York. I've been able to do a lot of stuff. I think that's why I've done so much stuff, because I lived in big city like New York. Yeah.
It's like a hub, and everybody's just there, and
yeah, or they're coming through town or what. Like when I met Rod Stewart, he needed a horn section for a song, for one song. My friend Chuck, who played with him, and then they were like, not enough room on stage because it was a benefit. Can you just play the solo? And some guys have the luck. And when he heard me play, he said he actually told me he was looking for a blonde with blue eyes sax player. And though after he heard me play at rehearsal, he was like, "I want you." And I met him in New York at SIR. But I thought he was just joking with me because I'm not blonde and blue eyes. So, but he was like serious, So yeah, I've met a lot of people living around the New York area. Yes, a lot, many people. Yes. So, yeah.
So what is your dream gig?
I mean, I loved playing with Levon Helm in Woodstock at his barn. That was really beautiful. I guess I always wanted to play at Carnegie Hall. I would love to play in Carnegie Hall. I haven't played there. I never played with Rod at Madison Square Garden. I'd like to play at Madison Square Garden. Those are kind of my dream gigs. Yeah, in New York. Yeah. So
excuse me.
It's okay.
So, can you think of any of the gigs that you've done that stands out? So I tell most of my guests, tell me a story. What's your favorite gig story?
Favorite gig story. Let me think about that. Playing at a gig. Well, I did get to play. I've done some really cool gigs. Like, I guess you know what? I filled in Stevie Van Zandt's band. One of the sax players. His daughter was graduating from high school, so they had me sub. They had learn the whole show, and I met up with them several months after they were rehearsing. And I practiced. It's not easy just to come in and nail something when you don't do it all the time. So I practiced my little heart out for like 3 months, and then after we were in Milan, this beautiful place, and it was totally packed, and I did the gig, and he came afterwards. I walked in the back and I said thank you, and they wanted more encores, and he was only going to do 3, but he had to go on for one more, and he just said to me, "Baron, you earned this." And that just felt so good from somebody especially like him to say that after working so hard on it. And he said that was the best gig of the tour. So I felt really that was really cool. I have to say that really made my night. And then we hung out afterwards, and it was fun. Before that, he wasn't sure about me. I mean, he knew that I could play, and I played with Rod Stewart and lots of people, but he till I did his show, then he was like, so that was really cool for me. That was very nice to get that from Stevie Van Zandt. Yeah. So it's
busted your butt for it.
I busted my butt. I still work very hard. I'm a lot older, but I'm before I saw you, I'm working on a record. I'm writing. I have 5 gigs in like 4 days. So I'm still out there doing it, which I love. I just love the whole thing. Still record for people. I don't know. It's my passion. It's what I love, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to do it. So I feel very grateful for that. Yes.
Oh, you're just like one of the coolest human beings I've talked to in a long time.
Okay, yes, I've been told that.
I
Yes.
mean, you
Okay.
just
Well, thank you. Thank you.
keep on going and go. Like all of this, just you just had an amazing life. I mean,
What's beautiful to me is I'm in my 60s now, and I've been doing this since my early 20s. And I mean, I was touring with Matt Murphy in Europe and playing all these beautiful opera halls and touring with people in my 20s, and I'm still doing it in my 60s. I was just down in Montana, a lady, I was in Livingston, Montana, a lady saw sax, and she said, "Oh, wow, you play sax?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm playing down in Prey near the Yellowstone Park." And I said, "I played here in 1985." And she goes, "Wow, that's pretty cool. You're still doing it all these years later." So I feel really grateful that I'm still doing it. I mean, there's been slow points after 9/11. I was playing with Rod and everything kind of fell apart. But I taught. And then, when COVID did, I taught, and I still teach too. I still do that too. So I just,
music, I,
yeah, I've had some, I've done arranging, recordings at home. I've got it all that together, where I have a home studio. I can do that, and I'm very versatile. This guy from Count Basie, Frank Foster, who played tenor sax with him, used to come to my high school, and he used to say, "You got to learn a lot of styles and be very versatile." And I think that's what has made me so busy, because I play a lot of different styles. I can play a lot of different styles, and I play all the saxophones. I play flute, clarinet. I play piano.
oh, I don't know if we lost him or if it just.
Did you lose me?
Oh, just for a second. There you are. No, you're back.
Okay, that's it.
You
That's
just
okay.
froze up for a second.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, being very versatile, and I do still practice. I mean, I can't practice like I used to. There was a point when I was in music school, I was practicing 6 to 8 hours a day, but I'm on the road, but I'm still playing a lot. I'm writing music. I'm thinking music. I listen to a lot of music still. I got my Apple tunes in the car, and I still listen to a lot of music. When especially when I'm traveling, I can't really practice like I want to practice. So yeah.
What's on Baron's playlist?
What do we have? I just I Dream Girl's really nice. That's on Apple Music, but I remastered it. So I kind of did. It's going to be re-put out, but Dream Girls is kind of nice. That I did more like a smooth jazz type of thing. But I'm working on a record right now. What else? Cigarettes and Soda is another one. Back in the day, I have some stuff that I did with Matt Guitar Murphy's band, but I'm remastering that too. Back in the '80s, where I did Sissy Strut, and as I said, I'm working on a record right now. We have 9 tunes, and we got one more to do. So, but when that comes out, I'll definitely let you know for sure.
So I've
Yeah.
got a question. As a teacher, what qualities do you look for in a student? And do you have any students who've made a name for themselves? I can't
Yeah.
imagine being taught by the great Baron.
Yeah. Yes. I've had students. This one kid, I didn't think he remembered me. Julius Tartarino, I think is his name. And he's like head of this Jazz House Kids, and he teaches sax at Princeton. And he's like, his big band came in #1 in the nation. And the other day, this mutual friend that was his teacher, I said, "I don't know if you remember me." And he goes, "Of course I did. I was hanging out with you every day." And I just didn't know, you know what I mean? He was so young, and he's doing really well. I've had other students do quite well. Everett Harp, he wasn't a student of mine, but we went to University of North Texas together. He became very famous as a sax player. He called me up recently and said, "You influenced my playing." And this guy was on Arsenio Hall, and toured with Kenny Loggins. I've had a lot of people tell me I've influenced them as a musician. So I guess I've had influences. I don't. I don't, there's nobody really famous except for Julius. He's pretty well known. Um, but players have told me that I definitely influenced them. Yeah, which feels good. It feels really good that they call me up and tell me that I've been their influence. I get that a lot, so that's really sweet.
That's
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's
yeah,
that. You know, that's it keeps you going. It keeps
yes,
remembering. If
yes,
you forget for just a split second, why do I do this?
right,
That's
yes. No, absolutely, absolutely. I don't want to take it for granted either, because I mean, I've worked hard at it, but I can't take it for granted. I feel it's grace really at this point. I've had, I've worked really hard. I have to say I've worked really hard at it. Definitely dedicated at it. Um, yeah, I just yeah, I'm into it. I don't know what else to say. I really love music. Yes,
so
yes.
like what do we got here? East Coaster tenor sax San Martino. The
Sal,
coaster.
Mar- Sal Martino. Do I know him?
Paul Testa's comment. Um, he wants to know if you met him. He was
I
Paul's sax man.
I think I have. I might have. I think he sounds very familiar, Paul. Paul. Yeah. Would that be in Minnesota that I met him, or
I don't know. He just says East Coaster. The guy was.
okay? Yeah.
So where do people
Um,
find music that you've done?
you can go on Apple Music. I have it. I just put some remastered stuff on my website, Sax Baron, SAX1R for me, BARON, not like the president Trump's son, BARON.com. It's all on iTunes everywhere. But as I said, I'm working on a new record right now. So yeah, I do have stuff out there, definitely. And on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel. I think it's Sax Baron too. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel you can find me on. I'm on Instagram, Sax Baron on Instagram. Sax Baron for my website. Sax Baron for Twitter. Uh, I'm on Facebook, though I'm a little loaded up with friends, but you can find me there too. Yep, yep.
How do
So
you keep up with all those platforms? I can barely keep up
I,
with two.
I, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to and do all the music. Yeah, I basically do Facebook and it goes to Instagram, and sometimes I'll go on TikTok too. I some occasionally put it up if I'm really like a video or something. I'll put it up on TikTok, and no, I don't do too much Twitter, but the Facebook I do put a lot of stuff up on Facebook, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot to do, but you got to do it now. I feel like I got to have some presence out there, Yeah, yeah.
What kind of advice do you give your students?
Um, uh, to just One of my advice is to music first, content first. You got to be able to play in tune and with the metronome. I always tell them to practice with the metronome. Uh, I listen to records, maybe play along with them, slow them down. Now with YouTube, you can slow things down and play and get all I listen very carefully. It's really good for my ear training. I tell them to be prepared for gigs, uh, look decent, come prepared, um, um, try to get along with others, play well in the sandbox, um, and be on time. That's important too. Yeah, yeah, because I've seen people fired for not being on time, especially with the bigger gigs that I've done. They don't want to hear about it. If you're late for a TV show, you're gone. You know.
Oh, right. Like,
Yeah. Or Broadway either. Yeah, yeah. There's
you're
always
not going to hold up the show for one person.
yeah. There's a story about a trombone player being late for a show, and during intermission, they had another guy in there for him, replacing him. So, yeah, yeah. Yeah, even when I was with Rod Stewart, I was doing the Rosie O'Donnell show, and the backup singers, they had some new younger people. They came in late, on the TV show, and they were gone. They were gone the next day. That was it. So, so the big gigs, you really got to be on time. Yes, 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 yes.
Practice, practice, practice.
And practice. I have a friend, Douglas Lee, this healer friend of mine. He's a kung fu master too. He used to always tell me, practice, 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 promote, 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 and give back, give back, give back. It's important to give back too. I feel that's very important, especially my time in my life. I need to give back to people. That's why I teach. I show people stuff. I give freely. You know, I'm not not into this competition thing. I just want to do the best I can be, not compare myself. You know, and just have my own voice. You know, have my own voice. That's what I don't know. I guess that's about what I tell my students. Yeah.
Well,
So
we're about out of time. Oh, Paul says that San Martino lives in Florida.
Florida. Okay, so sounds familiar.
Yeah, you said it was nice to meet you, Baron.
Oh, nice to meet you too. Wow, very nice. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. When I heard your name and I started doing a little research, I was like, I got to get this guy on the show.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. I thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. So you have a great day, and rock on whatever you do, and live your dream. That's what I say. I still dream. I'm 64. I still dream. I still dream. You know, I still believe in dreams. You know, and I think if I didn't, these things like playing with Rod Stewart and all these people wouldn't happen, because I dreamt that when I was younger, you know, and I went for it, you know, and I'm working on a record now, and I'm visualizing it, visualization, you know, and it comes too, you know, I'm writing a lot. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You heard it from Baron, and don't give up on your dreams, because they might.
Yes, absolutely. People might say, oh, you can't do this and can't do that. I had people tell me that. You know what? They're wrong. I can say that, okay? Because people have told me you can't do that and all this, and they were wrong. So okay. Well, thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, Baron. So that was a lot of fun. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, Baron. You guys are great. Thank you for all the viewers out there. Join us next week. Same time, same bat channel, however that goes. We have Project Constellation, a local band who has actually been touring all over the place lately. They're just the cutest couple. It's a husband and wife, and they play fiddle and guitar. You're going to love these two. And then we've got Keys Williams. And I think you might want to look that guy's name up and tune into the show next week. Thanks, everybody.